Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam and this is a Wheeler's Dwarf Pittosporum. Wheeler's Dwarf Pittosporum is a low mounding evergreen shrub with beautiful shiny green foliage. Just an absolutely beautiful plant year round. Some of the new growth on it will be a little bit of a red tinge to it once it gets started. I have to be honest, this is a plant that just hates me. I've tried this in my yard a couple times over the years. This is actually a zone 8 to 11 plant, and so I'm slightly out of the zone. I'm in 7B, so I could be getting some winter damage on it, but what actually kills it in my yard is I have poorly draining soil. In the other places I've tried it, the bed I'm putting them in today in the front, I've really worked on over the years, and I think it'll have better drainage on it now. I had put a little retaining wall on the other side of the sidewalk from it so water doesn't come in to infiltrate this bed other than straight down from the sky. So I'm hoping I have it figured out. Because I'm in zone 7, it needs to be a foundation plant. Even in zone 8, I'd probably have these Dwarf Pittosporum as foundation plants because they are, like I say, they're not the most cold hardy things in the world. Zone 9 or 10, 11, you could put it out in the parking lot and have the winter. The winter's not going to damage it. I'm putting 3 of them in this front foundation bed. They're just absolutely beautiful. The larger growing pittosporums bloom and they have fragrant flowers, and there's variegated pittosporums that people really love. This one is really just grown for this beautiful shiny foliage and this incredible compact habit. You don't have to do anything to this plant to have it grow just like this. They'll end up 3 or 4 feet wide, maybe even a little wider over time, and only, like I say, maybe 2 feet in height. I'll have to trim them a little bit, the area I'm putting them in. I really can't let them get 3 or 4 feet wide. I'm hoping they get at least 2 feet wide before I do them in. Anywhere south of me, I'm in North Carolina, anywhere south of me in zone 8 in the entire southeast, these are much easier to grow. You probably have soils that drain quite a bit better than ours do up in the Piedmont of North Carolina. And of course, I saw these like crazy out on the West Coast last year in California. They're having to water them. It's a great thing to put in the ground if you live in an area where you make the decision to water it rather than, in my area I could potentially get a tropical storm followed by 6 inches of just normal rains over the next week or two. That's really something that could do some damage to this. Gardenias would fit into that group as well that can be damaged that way. But like I say, I hope I've created a better draining situation. I'm going to leave these mounded up an inch or two when I plant them. I'm going to mulch them well, but not mulch up on the stems, just like always. I'll water it in well when I plant it, and then I'll let it become pretty dry before I water it again. And when I do water it, like I say, I'll always saturate the area really well, let it dry out again. I'm planting them in late winter, early spring, so it's time to fertilize all your woody trees and shrubs. After I get these in the ground, I'll throw a little bit of plant tone or holly tone would work as well around them. That's the organic slow release that I use. You could use any slow release fertilizer. Just do it once in the spring. This is not a plant you're going to want to fertilize in the summer or early fall, because if you put new growth on it, that new growth is definitely going to get damaged going into that next winter. Not a plant that's going to need to be pruned. I'm only going to prune it to control the size in a few years, but year to year, there's going to be virtually no pruning on it. Maybe I'd get a wild limb on it at some point that can come off. Like I say, these don't flower. I've heard people say that they'll occasionally get a small little orange flower on the inside that's fragrant, just like the full-size pittosporums. I've never seen it or never smelt it. Maybe the 3 that I have here today that I'm planting, I'll eventually see that. Other than the cold potentially damaging them or staying too wet between rains or watering, these are pretty tough plants and they don't really get any pest problems for the most part. They're very deer resistant. Pretty much deer proof. I've never seen a deer mess with one of these. So this is a good choice if you have those types of situations. And I don't want to scare anybody off, from trying one of these Dwarf Pittosporum at all. This sounds weird, I actually learn more by having a dead plant here or there than I do with successes. So it doesn't bother me that I've lost them a couple times, because I think I have it figured out, and I'm going to jump right back in and try them again. So thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for future videos.